Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the People. You now have a friend in the media, which is myself, here to answer any and all questions that you have about this Carolina Panthers team. Got a great show lined up for you today. Again, continue to love the feedback from y'all. I will continue to do everything I can to give you lots and lots of Carolina Panthers content. And we're going to give some sneak previews today, all right? So the title of this video was talking about Led with Miles Sanders. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Miles Sanders. I'm going to tell you it was interesting to be in the media and be on the sidelines and for not a second day in a row, but for a second occurrence in this only 8 days of training camp, hear him, bark something out to the media. That was pretty interesting. So we'll get into that. But also, as you saw in that headline, defense did pretty good today. There were some good defensive efforts. There were some good things going on offense, but the defense overall certainly seemed to have the number today and have the edge today. But before we get into those previews, you know what we're going to do? Got to show some appreciation to you guys for supporting the channel. We are now over 10,000, hopefully heading towards 15,000 subscribers. And I've said the bigger I grow, the more that we can do, such as player interviews, coach interviews, continue those things. So today, another one-on-one player interview that I did with Jaden Crumney, our 6th round draft pick out of Mississippi, and our members. If you are a member, you get to see this video live now. Others, it will be available to you this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But let's go ahead and take a sneak peek at my one-on-one interview earlier today.
Really, I wasn't much of an outdoor sports type of guy, and I was late for school one day, and I think I was in like 6th grade, and my mom, she was taking me to school, and she was, speeding, trying to get me to class before, the bell rung. But she ended up getting pulled over by one of the sheriffs, and then he seen me in the passenger seat, and he was just like, "That's a big old kid right there. What grade is he in? Is he in high school?" And she was like, "Nah, he's not." And then he said, "Well, I got a traveling team that I have, and I can get you to play for my team, and I won't give you a ticket." And that's how my football career started.
So how about that for a career? Not only do you get to make it to the NFL to eventually take care of your family with that success, but you helped moms out of a ticket many, many years ago just by going to playing football, and look where it's gotten you. So that full interview, again, will be up this evening for everyone. But if you are a member of the channel, that video is available to you now. Good little incentive there to become a member. And I got to throw this comment up because, well, that's a good comment from Tim Estes, but I want to throw this one up here from Nate. He says, "I'm kicking butt doing coverage this season," and I appreciate it. I've learned what the standards should be for Charlotte Vibe providing you coverage. I've learned what you guys expect, and that's what I'm committed to doing by all means. It's been a drag, it's been a grind, but kudos like this from Nate are reasons that I keep it up. And also, it's pretty cool that people around the stadium, the security, the facilities people, they know that I've been here. Say, "Hey, you going to be here late again?" Like, yep, you know it. Got to bring everybody the content. So appreciate everybody noticing, and we're going to continue to rock out covering this team, including going to Boston to cover the New England Patriots preseason game #1 and all the games. So if you're tuning in, you haven't hit the like button, please be sure to do so. Help us continue to grow. I'll continue to do what I do. Moving on with the coverage from today. It was a day in pads. This was, I think, officially the 3rd day in pads. So 3 out of 8 days have been in pads. And let me see what I have next that I wanted to get into. So let's go ahead and give you a little sneak preview from the action today. Now, each day, right now there's 3 videos being put up. One video is going to be the highlight videos that I'm able to capture from practice. The second video will be this video that you're watching here, the recap for practice. And right now, a 3rd video is being the one-on-one interviews that I'm having with all the rookies. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to set your notifications. But at this point, I want to give you a preview. And again, I want to give some context. This is not to say that the offense was as a whole just sloppy, terrible. They had their moments. They weren't just like atrocious out there today by any means. But the defense certainly had more moments, all right? So I'm going to share a few of those with you, just kind of keep you tuning in, right? So here's one of those plays. And this right now that I'm going to show you is, I don't know how to break it down, but basically the first 30 minutes of practice, the media gets the ability to watch, record, photograph, practice. And then they go into another period where it's more team-oriented, and they'll go back out, take a break sometimes and do some 7-on-7s. But this is that early part, the first 30 minutes of practice where we're able to record. So I want to show you some of this, all right? First play. So you probably saw and heard that. Hopefully YouTube is not going to grab me for some copyright music. I don't know if the music was in the background, but that was a drop on a nice pass, but a drop by David Moore, wide receiver. And that's one example of just the receiver, you know, he should have got that. It wasn't too much of a contested pass. And now here's another one. So, you know, that was quick. So I'm going to show that one more time. Let me show this one more time. So that was a great pass breakup by, I believe that was David Moore on the breakup. I'm sorry, that was Nick Scott on the breakup. And some people may say, well, hey, that wasn't like JC, that wasn't Deontay, that wasn't Mingo, et cetera, et cetera. True. That was not those guys, but I'm just able to provide the limited video that I can get, just showing you what happened. We're not able to record the entire practice by any means. That would be a violation of my credentials, and I would no longer be broadcasting, but it still provides you a snapshot about the action that took place today. So a quick comment that just stands out to me. J-Dub said, I seen you today, but you was too far away to say hello. So appreciate it. Yeah, there's been a lot of people that have had the opportunity to say hello. I appreciate it. And if I get close enough or if it's early on, please flag me down. I'm wearing the patented red shirt all throughout training camp. So I'm pretty easy to spot out there. Someone, I think the other day, said something about Falcons colors. You could say Falcons colors, but they're my company colors, my favorite colors. And that is why I have on the red. Plus, it helps players and coaches remember who I am, which allows me to do a good job of working for you to get my questions answered, all right? All right, so let's go ahead and get on to it. So a few notable things that I want to talk to you guys and share with you all about would be some injury updates. And our guy Xavier Legette left practice today with a lower leg injury. Dave Canales did not provide much more information than that. He said that's all he had at the time. Didn't want to say much about much further of it than that. Some information has come out since practice to say that he had an x-ray. That x-ray was negative, so that's a good thing, but still not the full battle being won yet, as Legette has to go through an MRI and await the results of the MRI. Here's my normal drink of water that you guys are probably going to laugh at me for. Maybe I can get a drink sponsor out there to help with the cost of running this channel, but yeah, so Legette, that's the latest on Legette. And then got some news regarding the quarterback search. This is according to Joe Person of The Athletic, that they're looking to bring back a guy that may be familiar to you all, Jake Luton. He was with the team last year. They are looking to possibly bring Luton back as a free agent to fill in the snaps until Andy is able to come back, all right? So let's go ahead and get into some play-by-play. Continue to hit the like button. Subscribe if you have not already done so. And once I go through all of my play-by-play, we'll give a chance for some more Q&A to be had there. So again, continue to receive positive feedback on the play-by-play. I've revised it this year, not telling you every single play, just touch on the points that stand out to me from practice. And I want to walk you through my experience with practice today. So I'm doing a lot normally during practice, and it takes me a minute to get all my data together because I'm trying to video, trying to photo, trying to record, and I'm really just trying to capture stuff. And I'm like, I think I'm seeing something, but let me look through my notes and make sure. And so it's funny. So let me walk you through it. It was 4 plays in today, and I had notation that there was a play action pass, but that would have been sacked if it was real action. And at that time, Jake Plummer was in at quarterback. And then Bryce came in, and then there was a toss, and I noted, put in my notes, very good run defense. I'm like, they don't seem to be going anywhere today, all right? It's some tough sledding. I was like, they're in pads, but both teams have the same instructions about not taking anyone down, but they should be getting some kind of push. And then the very next play, Jack was on the center, and I have notated again. I wish I could show you my notes. Asterisk. Very good run defense. And then I said, at this point, I'm not wanting to declare anything about the defense. I'm going to have to figure out a way to try to look through my notes and compare things about offense and defense. But it seems like this defense is looking pretty good, and our run offense is not looking that good. And then after that, that's when Dave Canales called a little, hey, bring it in, guys. Bring it in. Let's talk about this. And we need to pick it up. So I'm going to play a little bit more on Dave Canales talking about why he did that. But that was part of the reason, is that defense he felt like was ready to go. Let's do it. And the offense was like a train starting up, right? I think I can. Continuing on with some of the plays. So that was a team environment. Now they went into 7-on-7. And we had some completions. We were doing fine. Bryce completed to Thielen, Bryce to Deontay Johnson. Bryce then to, I don't have my glasses on to see, to number 49. And then Bryce with the incompletion, defended well by 17. I need to get my notes up here higher so I can see who these guys are, so I can make sure I don't say any incorrect names. Plummer comes in. He's doing well. Nice catch by Terrace Marshall Jr., a ball that was a little bit behind him. I thought it was worthy of noting that was a pretty good catch by him. And, we just went through that as normal. I would say the rest were normal. Had about another 7 or 8 plays. And now noticing more players using that cooling room. Mingo and Marshall went into it in between drills to kind of cool off that cooling station. Seems to be getting some high praise from a lot of guys that it just really helps knock the edge of the heat off of them, continue to get them feeling refreshed, go back out there and put in a good practice. After that 7-on-7 period, they went back to an 11-on-11. I am noticing Miles Sanders with some more reps. I've talked about this yesterday, saying that initially it started out and you felt like it was clearly seeing Chuba, and now you're seeing more of a rotation. But I will still say what I said yesterday, and that I feel like now that they had that week of, okay, I feel like these are our ones. Now I want to spread it out more to see guys with ones or just more reps with guys further down the roster, period, which could be also why we're seeing more of Miles Sanders. But Sanders with a couple of back-to-back touches, and then looks like Amir Smith-Marset had a drop as he was defended by number 57. I need to get my little cheat sheet up here so I can say players a little bit better. So that was Chandler Wooten. And continuing through my notes here, Chuba with a handoff. Then Miles Sanders with a handoff from the shotgun, nowhere to go. So again, defense kind of catching my eye with how well they're playing, particularly the line, particularly the run defense, particularly getting to the quarterback at times. But I've also feel like today I saw the cornerbacks, the secondary, doing pretty good, as I showed you earlier with those clips from, I think that was just 101s that I showed you guys earlier that they were running. And just continue to go through the notes here. Bryce was in a shotgun, had a little bit of a low snap, had a good amount of pressure, rolled out, and hits Deontay Johnson. But in my notes, I say that play would not have happened if it was real football. So sometimes they will be a little gracious, particularly also if Bryce Young is out there, to let that play continue to run so he can scramble and still have a chance to connect with the receivers. But it was certainly a play that I feel like, if it was real action, would not have been a completion. Next play, Jack is in there, and he gets some pressure from Kenny Dyson. and I feel like he would have been tackled, but he ended up scrambling, running the ball. Jack did on that play. So pointing out all the pressures. Bryce back there, he hit Miles Sanders quickly, but again, good pressure by the defense. Clowney did have the day off today, so all this pressure, good play from the defense, and Clowney wasn't even a part of it today as he had the day off. There was a nice pass and catch. I don't feel like my roster's completely up to date. I have here my numbers 37 on my cheat sheet here. It says that would have been Jaden Sheridan. And then we went into the special teams period, came back, and now the team's running a 2-minute type drill. So with the 2-minute drill that they ran today, Bryce had to try it, and they actually gave Jack Plummer 2 times at it. And one of the plays that just sticks out to me in that was Bryce had a deep ball to Jonathan Mingo. Mingo, he's still been having a good practice. On this one today, he was had 2 defenders on him. He had, my notes say 21 and 23, which would have been, respectively, Nick Scott and Dane Jackson defending him. They broke up the ball. Nice pass deflection, kind of a jump ball with all 3 of them going up. Felt like Mingo, I guess, has been like a little picky. He could have played that ball a little bit better, but certainly the defenders had a good line on the ball, eye on the ball as well. Again, was able to jump in there and break that up. Again, a very nice play by the defense. Another play. Now, Bryce, with all this that was going on, I do want to emphasize he did have some nice plays today. I have him with a completion of 6, completion of 6, completion of 30, a good blitz, but he was unfazed, hit Jonathan Mingo. He wasn't worried about that at all. So Bryce does continue to do some things well out there. Just, again, football is a game of team, 11 guys to do the right thing to get you in a position to win, and it wasn't happening consistently enough for the offense today. Another play here when Jack's back at a quarterback that I have noted that he would have been sacked again. So that is the end of my note taken on the play-by-play recap. And yeah, the defense played better today. So Dave Canales was our guy that was up to talk to the media today. He's always the one that's up first. I do want to say that practice today did go a little longer than it's been going. It was certainly, it seemed like it was knocking on the door of a 2-hour practice. Generally, it's about an hour and a half. And, there was a lot of talking to some players afterwards. I mean, not afterwards, certainly afterwards, but there was a lot of talks going on during practice as well. But Dave Canales came on talking with the media, and he addressed a lot of what I'm talking to you guys about today.
There was a significant difference in how we started the practice from defense to offense. Defense showed up play 1, ready to rock with the physicality and all that. Offensively, we kind of worked our way through the first group, so it kind of called them up right there, used it as a great opportunity to say, hey, look, this will happen sometimes. Sometimes you start a game and one side of the ball is struggling a little bit, the other side may be doing well, and the bottom line is we got to go to the next play, we get our stuff right, we go to the next drive. We don't make judgments about the outcome of the game based on what happens in the first drill. Bryce was able to come down, make a great drive in that 2-minute at the end, score a touchdown on the last play. Not the way we designed it, but he's been magnificent with some of those plays off schedule. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I love when the energy, what I'm looking for is the energy to match on all phases. The offense and the defense, we're all going for it. There's not one side going and the other side's not. Special teams wise also, just we're flying around. I'll even go out there in the drills, try to run down there with them, just to try to match it, try to bring the whole thing together. It's the only way that we make us, it's the only way that we become something, is if we push each other.
So there's Dave Canales. I got the hiccups. Dave Canales, in his own words, talking about the slow start today, and said it may happen, it can happen, right? But when it does happen, don't think that, hey, this is it, we're about to have a bad day. No, everybody pull each other up, and it's about how you finish. So, yeah, I think I've said enough on that topic of the slow start today. looking through my notes here. So, game coming up Thursday night. About that game and who will play and who will not play has not yet been determined. They are still, Dave along with Dan and the team are trying to discuss right now who's going to play starters, how long they may play, and something that will impact that are the injuries that they're dealing with. Had the graphic up yesterday. I think off the top of my head, I can remember you got tight ends Ian Thomas, Tommy Tremble, you got Shaq that's not been out there, you got Andy Dalton that's missing some time, you got Xavier that is dealing with that injury that happened today that we don't know all on what that's about. So I think that also part of Dave saying that is that this is his first year as a head coach, right? And this is his first year with this team. So before on a Sunday you want to declare something, take your time. You know, he spoke to us when he first started coaching the first few days of training camp saying that he learned from specifically Pete Carroll for some things, just take all the time that you have before you have to make a decision. Don't say how much my starters are going to play. He hadn't even reviewed the tape from today, which I'm sure he was not excited about the result of. And, you know, he's going to pick through that and then he'll say, okay, this is what's going to happen. I hope that we're going to see Bryce Young. You know, I hope that we'll see the starting offensive line out there. With everybody to this organization being so new, coaching staff, general manager, just so many facets of it, I think you want to give yourself those reps, whether you limit it to a couple of series or not. But I don't think that you can say, yeah, we know everything that we're doing. We don't want to see things work. We got it. We'll just come out week one. I don't think Dave Canales is that kind of guy. Also because he's such a guy that pays so much attention to detail and wants things to be just polished. So that's my take on what we're going to see this Thursday night. That game will be at 7 o'clock. Bryce Young, deep passes. I was the first one, I think I can safely say that put out the passing charts for Bryce Young last year saying, man, what is going on? Can this guy not throw the ball more than 10 yards? Or maybe he can, but can they not scheme for him to throw the ball more than 10 yards? Because we all remember Andy Dalton came in there for that, I forget which week it was, but against Seattle. He threw the ball all over the place. But Bryce, he was not. So Coach, tell us, what's up with the lack of deep balls from Bryce Young? Will we see more?
Yeah, I think it's number one, our scheme defensively is fantastic. So it's really hard. This scheme right here really maximizes the disguise. They do so many good things that make it hard for you to kind of know when you're going to be able to get that shot down the field. And so it's just a matter of, for our quarterbacks, especially studying our guys, to say, this is a look when this shot would be good, you know? And I think, you know, generally speaking, as far as training camps go, like our deep ball production kind of increases the further into camp we get. And it really does show up more in games. You know, when you're out here in a practice setting, you know, a lot of the times the defense and secondary play a little bit more conservative. In games, they're more liable to like take a shot on a guy or try to cover something where you can set up some of those shots. But and it's definitely something we just have to, bottom line, just improve on and get opportunities on. So I'd love to see more production down the field, yes, but it's been really difficult against our defense right now.
So more to come. And I will say this, I did see, and I made note of it, yesterday's video, the highlights, I noticed that, I put in the title that Bryce was throwing some deep balls. So I'll move on from that because there's lots of other stuff. We will see. We will see. And I think I might have one more video for you guys. All right, so no, that'll be all that I have from Coach Dave Canales. Next up was Ickey, who's looking to have a bounce back year from a troubling year last year. And he said he just wants to be more consistent with his stance and his starts, something that he feels like he has progressed in and feels really strong about. He felt like last year, for some reason, he just didn't use all the resources that were available to him to be better. And this year he's doing that. He's using his coaches as much as he can to get feedbacks. And even during the off season, when he was practicing his stance and his starts, that he would record a video, send it over to the coach and say, hey, analyze this. Am I doing what you want me to do? So he feels really good about the progress that he's been making, likes that he has these other guys around him and learning from those guys as well. But in talking about Bryce, and you guys asked me about Bryce, and I feel like I'm getting my analysis together for Bryce, but I want to point out Ickey's observation of Bryce Young and share that with y'all for your digesting.
You could tell he took a big step forward, just in his pocket presence and his awareness. He's really I've been talking to some of the defensive players too, because I like to see, what they think, and they said that it's really hard to defend a guy like Bryce, because he's throwing the ball steps in advance where the receiver's going to be, and he's letting that receiver go get that ball. And I think it's really been impressive seeing his jump this year, honestly. And obviously the leadership qualities were there last year, but they've been growing even more ever since last year. So definitely excited to see the player Bryce becomes.
So it is a trend that I'm noticing from players, talking about Bryce and his timing. Dave Canales talked about the 2.7 seconds, that he wants him to get the ball out quickly. And he does go to get the ball out quickly. And I think it was Robert Hunt last week said that as he scrambles or as he moves around, something that he likes is that he's still on time. He's not back there for 5-10 seconds running around trying to make a decision and get the ball out, which they like because that allows them to maintain their blocks and keep his jersey clean. Ickey also talked about the leadership. Dave did bring the team together after the first couple of plays, right? And talked to them about offense. Hey, you guys need to pick it up. Bryce did something that, I would expect to hear about because he's now in that second year, getting more confident in what he's doing. Bryce also, after Dave brought the team together, talked to the team, said, hey, come on, we all got to pick it up, right? And that wasn't it. He did it again. Bryce brought the team together again after practice, one more time to continue to say, we need to pick it up. We need to pick it up. So Bryce starting to grow, and his leadership starting to become more vocal to his teammates to get this team going in the direction that they need to get in and go to be more successful. Now, Miles Sanders spoke with the media today, and a lot of media could not wait to speak to him to get an idea of what's going on with Miles. Miles has certainly had a great deal of intensity, and I've been covering this team for a while. I can't remember the last time a player has barked at the media several times. So, it happened last week after a play. Miles, we're all doing our job, and everybody kind of looked at like, was the player just yelling at us? Like, did somebody just recently do something to this guy? So that happened once, and then it happened again today when he was running the ball, got near the media, and let us, was vocal with us. And so Miles had a chance to speak today and talk about how he's feeling.
No, I'm just having fun out there, man. It's camp, it's high intensity. I be in a different mode out there, so it's just having fun out there. That's how I look at it. Last year, that's all I can say. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to talk about last year, but last year, left a real bad taste in my mouth. So just trying to, got something to prove,
Miles Sanders was something to prove. So here's my evaluation of Miles Sanders. He's still not happy. He's still extremely ticked, and to me, it's nothing wrong with the player that's ticked off about his bad performance last year. Eager to prove us wrong in terms of that Chuba's going to be the guy and where's Miles going to fit in? Is he going to be on the team? Should he be on the team? He's paid too much. Look at his production. All the things that you could criticize him about, rightfully so with the production that he had last year. And he's out to prove us wrong. He's motivated to do so. He's driven to do so. And hey, these guys don't get to this level and play at a high level without chips on their shoulders, without some motivation to excel, right? So Miles is in full redemption mode. I'm looking forward to seeing him play, looking forward to seeing him get some redemption. I wouldn't be mad if we suddenly had this triple-headed monster with Brooks, Hubbard, and Sanders back there running the rock like crazy, and us trying to figure out how can we still have a spot for Blackshear, which has been a special teams guy for us. So I'll continue to keep you updated on the Miles Sanders situation, but he's certainly motivated and looking to be a different person than before. And I think that'll take us through it all. Not Bryce, but Miles did have one other comment I want to bring to y'all's attention. Was he said it's night and day between last year and this year with the motivation, with the positivity, and not that he's just slandering the previous coach, but just says, anytime there's change, you want some improvement to happen. Dave Canales is a really upbeat guy as well, so you're going to have a lot more positivity there. But Dave also tells you what you need to know. But Miles, again, just saying, like, it's night and day, it's a difference. And he's motivated to show that he is a good quarterback. So, I'm sorry, running back. Please don't blow me up in the comments for that. He is a good running back. Smash that like button. Here you go, part of the show where I give you a few minutes, a few seconds to smash that like button. Come on, you can do it. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds to hit the like button if you're watching up until this point and you're enjoying the content that we're bringing that helps other Carolina Panther fans find out about the channel. Let's go ahead and try to get some Q&A before I get out of here. It's Sunday. I'm ready to go home with the family like you guys are. Here we go. T Green, got to give a shout to the members. Man, it's pouring down my way. Right now, I'm at the stadium, as you can probably tell. It's sunny, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be cloudy and rainy at home for me. But thank you for tuning in. And thank you also, T Green, for being a member. Members, I give you guys you get to skip the line, so to say. I try to make sure I read all the members' questions. All right, let me try to pick out a few here. All right, I feel like this question, I'm not sure if you're the same person that asked this yesterday, Mike, but I saw this one come up in the comments from yesterday. Can you ask Dave about the concern from the bad snaps? I haven't seen a lot of bad snaps. Now, I also will say that I don't have the best view. It's something that I can complain about. You may pick on me that, hey, Chris, at least you get media credentials, and I do. But our training camp line of sight isn't the best. We're field level, and there's typically so many people standing in front of us. It's hard to see everything. But I just don't – I'll look closely at that tomorrow. Tomorrow's our 4th practice in a row. So I'll look closely at that tomorrow, Mike, to see. I just haven't seen it so far yet. And if, before I ask the coach, I want to make sure that it is something that is indeed happening. And if so, I have no problem asking that question. Hey, we've got a little kudos from Roadmaster. What's up, my guy? Just pulled up to the show. Show the channel some love. Appreciate you, Roadmaster. Always appreciate the love. Nate Walker, can you live stream during practice? Well, I like the question because I like to educate you guys on everything, all the details of being a reporter, all the details of anything that you could ask for, right? So, no, media is strictly, highly prohibited from live streaming any kind of content. We also have strict instructions in terms of, like, we can't give any play-by-play type things while practice is going on. We have to wait and give all of our information, the details of it, after practice. So appreciate the question, Nate Walker. Man, She-Dog, so I'll just let that sit right there so everybody can soak that in. Be starting to, hey, Chris, just have to ask, what should the expectation be for this coming Thursday night game? With our defense missing Clowney and still getting pressure, what should we expect from the, I believe that says offense, it's cut off, yeah, from the offense. Stallion, that's a very good question that I cannot give you an answer to. We're still discovering a lot right now. We're still discovering what new head coach Dave Canales wants to do, and we're still discovering these new players, the free agents, the rookies. I don't know yet. I really don't know yet what we can expect. If you just want me to go off what they've been doing against each other, I'd say a stronger performance from the defense than from the offense. But I feel like, yeah, I mean, that's it. But it just depends on how they scheme things, what they're trying to do. You know, a lot of times doing a preseason game, they're not necessarily – I'm trying to think of the proper way to say it. They're not necessarily trying to win as the most important thing. They are trying to evaluate as the most important thing. So that also kind of determines what you see during the preseason. So it's a very hard question for me to ask, but I can promise you this. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn your bell notifications. I will be there, and I will go live after the game and give you, some more of my breakdown about what I have observed. So thank you for the question there. Jason Voorhees, those off-schedule plays are not going to work come game time. Bryce has to stay in the pocket. That's why we revamped the O-line. So, well, those off-schedule plays can work as long as you're smart about them. So, Bryce also is instructed to throw the ball away if he needs to. So it's not off-schedule and force something in there. It's off-schedule and you see that it could work. And, we did get a new offensive line, but I wouldn't say solely for the purpose of just keeping him in the pocket. Absolutely, you like to keep him in the pocket, but you also want to create some lanes for him. Sometimes moving a little bit helps him have those lanes to throw the ball. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't feel like Bryce has been just careless with the ball. I don't feel like that's been the case at all. Hey, Chris, it's hard to catch up with you live, but I'm still around. Keep pounding. I'm looking for a good season this year, at least I'm hopeful. Appreciate you, T. Green. Thank you very much. One of our members popping in to say hello. See your request, Donald Byers. I'll try my best. Tim Essie says, I can see Miles bouncing back behind this O-line. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. Mike Long sent lots of bad snaps. And again, Mike Long had asked me about the bad snaps and talking to Coach Canales about that. All right. We got to do this here. So, independent media supported by you guys. So, let's do this right here. We got to play the super chat sound because we just got one from Dorrell. Hopefully I said that correctly. He's also a member of the channel. I'm just tuning in, but appreciate the content as always. Hey, Dorrell, appreciate the super chat. We need it. We're doing a lot of things. We're traveling. We're covering a team, daily live videos. Definitely is some costs associated with that. We don't have any sponsors just writing us this $10,000 check to help us operate. So anytime that you guys are able to do so, show some love, whether it's super chat, whether it's becoming a member. I got to shout it out. I got to thank you for it because that's the only way that we continue to operate. And it allows us to operate in the way that you all love, right? These live shows, interactive shows, doing things that you guys like to do. It is because I'm independent that I can do that. So anytime you can show support like Darrell did, greatly appreciate it. And I got to go ahead and give you the sound effect there and a shout out. All right. T Green celebrating 10 months of membership. Keep pounding. Appreciate T Green. I'll give you guys a second to see if there's one more that'll pop up and ask a question here before I go ahead and get out of here, get back to the family. We'll say this. An observation today from the special teams unit. Mevis was not perfect today. He was 4 or 5. I don't think he's had a perfect day since training camp has started. I think he's been like 4 or 5, 4 or 5, 3 or 5 maybe. But Mevis was 4 or 5 today. Did hit his long field goal attempt. And you know what? It was at first Mevis and Pinero's like basically, no, I haven't talked to him. Just haven't. And but it did seem like, I don't know, it just seemed different, if you will. Today I did very noticeably see Mevis and Eddie talking and walking together towards the cooling place. And this is just my thought. This is just Chris Jenkins' thought. Eddie's like, yeah, I got this, and maybe I was a little standoffish. Maybe I wasn't as welcoming to you as I should have been. You are a rookie. I see you're struggling. I don't want this to, ruin your career. Even though there's a competition, this is just my thoughts. Even though there's a kicking competition, there's still a fraternity in this NFL with being in the NFL and then in positions, right? You heard about the text chat that the running backs had years ago when their pace started to go down. So I feel like Eddie's just like, maybe I was too hard on this guy. Let me help him out. He's going to get a chance somewhere else if he doesn't get one here, and I want him to succeed. So just wanted to point out that I did see Eddie and Mevis talking today, and seeming like Eddie was just offering him some words to help him with his kicking. So I think that's going to wrap us up. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching. I will be back out here tomorrow. Practice is at 9:30. I don't have a hard time that I can say these lives will occur. They generally occur between 3 and 4 o'clock as the start time. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. The video with the one-on-one with Jaden Crumdy will be out there for everybody at 8 o'clock tonight. We still have 5 other rookies to interview. Hopefully, with Xavier being hurt, I don't get a chance to talk to players one-on-one if he's still hurt. So fingers crossed there for many reasons that it's healthy. And right now, Jonathan Brooks is not actively dressing, so I don't foresee me being able to interview Jonathan Brooks. That's it. Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte Vibe live from Bank of America Stadium. We'll see you all tomorrow.